So now you're done with your time in Sweden and you're thinking, what's next in my life? Now, was there a real thought of, I want to become a goalie coach, I want to start with young players, try to help develop them, make them move on from whatever level to a higher level? Or did you kind of fall into that goaltending trap?
You know what, it was interesting. I came back after I retired, and I was a school teacher. I taught for 12 years, and I worked with kids with behavioral issues. And then, of course, that's a natural step into coaching goalies. And so
he's not pointing at me.
Yeah, yeah. And so it was. I was coaching on site. Went back, started at the same university, York University, where I was coaching with their college team, and then started working with some junior teams, and then eventually started working with a number of players that were in the NHL long before I started coaching in the NHL. And it was through that connection that it eventually led to my joining the NHL level anyway.
Well, I did some research trying to be good about the goaltender union, and I think, and if you can talk about this, that you were in touch with Kevin Weeks early on in your career. And was Weeksy one of your first students, I guess?
He was. Stephen Valaket, Kevin Weeks, Ray Emery, had a number of guys in the area, the Toronto area. And through that ended up starting to work with other NHL guys, and next thing you know, it led to the Islander job.
Yeah, and that's, I heard that Rick DiPietro was a big proponent of making sure that he got you in to the Islanders. And so how was that when you became an NHL goalie coach? Was it a full-time position like it is now, or is it where when I had Francois Allaire, he was in for 2 weeks, was gone for a couple weeks, and was kind of back and forth?
And I with the Islanders at the time, it was still the same. I was there, 2 weeks sometimes turned into 3, but as it still does. But it was on that type of system. Now, I'm a firm believer that I think the goalies have to have a little bit of space and a little bit of time on their own. So I actually like that system where you're in for, in the case with the Ducks here, I'm in for 20 days, or supposedly 20 days, and then let the goaltenders have a little bit of time on their own, and not have someone in their ear the whole time, and then come back in and continue the work.
I'm an absolute firm believer in that. I know that working with the coach, you can get things corrected. A lot. You're not trying to reteach a whole system.
Sure.
You're tweaking little things that they need to work on. You watch video, you go through that. But I do know that I needed my coach to leave, and I needed Francois to leave, and then I could refocus on what I needed to do, work on my stuff, and then I could look on film on its own. And it's just one of those things where you're like the unsung hero, really, because you're able to. We used to call it like getting off the road. So when you're playing well, you're driving straight down the road and all wheels are in the lane. All of a sudden something goes wrong in your technique and you're almost a little bit on the shoulder. And so instead of trying to jerk the wheel back onto the middle of the road, you're there to maybe just make 1 or 2 small adjustments to get them back on. And that's the thing I think is really that the fans don't really know about. They don't know about the behind the scenes work that you do. And really that's why we wanted to have you on the show and let you kind of give us an insight to what you do every day. Thanks again. This has been great. I think it's been very insightful for the fans back at home, and we'll look forward to having you on another show sometime soon.